up your engine! Well, here I go with my last cleaning the garage video, the last video I ever make in this garage. Thankfully, the big stuff I'm taking has wheels on it, my air compressor and all that stuff. Engine hoist, it all has wheels, so I can wheel that in and out of the truck. When we're doing that tomorrow, I'm going to give away a bunch more stuff here. So let's get into the back of this old garage and see what you might want. Well, from deep in the bowels, and it does have wheels, is my drain cleaner. Now, when you live in an old house like I have for 45 years, you find that roots tend to eat through the old pipes and then clog up your toilet and drains. Well, guess what? Scotty's moving into a nice new cottage that the Amish have built for him. Everything's new. The sewer pipes, the electricity, so I won't be needing this anymore. This baby is 50 feet long enough to get any roots out of your sewer system. I've been using it for a couple of decades now. Still works fine. Check it out, you just plug it into 110 volts, and when you flip the switch, away it goes. So if you're still sticking in your old house and roots keep getting in the sewer system, hey, don't pay the plumber $100 a pop. You can have my machine, I'm giving it away. Just stay tuned to the end of the video to find out how you can win it. And realize this is a custom Scotty creation. It didn't come with these big caster wheels. I put it on because I'm getting old. This thing is heavy. When it's on wheels, it's a lot easier to move it around. And here we go. Something else on wheels. A shop vac. A Sears Craftsman wet dry vac. Sears may be gone, but this vac is so old, that's when they made stuff good and it still works. Plug it in. Turn it on. And yes, I still have the original hose, although the end of the suction is new because the old one broke. You can win Scotty's 2.7 peak horsepower Craftsman shop vac. You can use it to your heart's content. Just stay tuned to the end to see how you can win it. And speaking of wheels, check this out. I'm going to be giving away my Eastwood MiG 135. This is a MiG welder. Uses gas as a shielding. Very easy to use a MiG welder. It doesn't require all the training of an arc welder. It's much easier to use. Now, of course, it didn't come with a stand. I had to buy that and put it all together, but I'm giving it away as a stand. And as I said, it's got the inert shielded gas on it. Eastwood's made pretty good welders. This one's held up well for me, but I'm giving it away. A fantastic tool. It's not rocket science. Read it up, watch some videos. Hey, you can learn how to weld with one of these good MiG welders. The problem with a MiG welder is you don't want a cheap one. Because I'm such a collector, hoarder you might say. In the back there somewhere is an old broken MiG welder. There's one of these cheap ones from Harbor Freight Tool that was like $139. I'm not giving that away, I'm throwing it away. It was a pile of junk from the get-go. For those of you buying welding equipment, pay a little bit more. Do a lot of research, see the reviews of what people give. Because there's a lot of cheap Chinese stuff out there that isn't worth the time of day to even bother looking at. You want a quality unit if you're serious about welding. And here comes another wheeled device. It's a motorcycle ATV lift. Cool as could be. It's all padded to go on your motorcycle or ATV. Then you jack it up and it picks it up so you can work on it. Highly stable. 4 good wheels. Now this jack only has one problem. I lost the handle, so you got to supply your own pipe handle. You can see this isn't big enough, but you can get a piece of pipe to stick in there. That was a bad design on this behalf. It wasn't built in, so you lose the handle all the time. Kind of a dumb design. I would have made it with the handle built in, just like this. So you don't have to worry about losing the handle. What else is hiding in here? Well, this is a flash reprogrammer. As you can see, we open it up. It's a pass-through device that reprograms computers. And I was smart, I even saved a little disc. The evil swines who make cars make them so that if you change a part, a lot of times you have to reprogram it. If you change the ECM or the TCM, you got to reprogram it. Sometimes you got to reprogram other modules like a BCM. This baby is just a pass-through device that allows you to do it. You need a PC. This has right here, there's connectors. PC connection, vehicle connection, and power. It lights up. All you need is a laptop. And let me tell you, you don't need that fancy of a laptop. Even Windows 7 will operate this thing, and any modern one will operate it. This connects to the computer, the other end connects to the car, and then it reprograms it. You can learn how to do it. The main problem is buying this equipment. Well, I've got like 3 different ones, so I'm giving this one away. You can see from the connectors, it's just an OBD2 connector, just plugs in the dash, and you'll be able to reprogram them. You have to pay for the software, of course, but, you know, the manufacturers have that online. You get your computer, you go online and say, I want to reprogram this. They tell you what it costs. Some of them are as little as $45, and then you reprogram the computer. Once you've done it, you'll find out it's not rocket science. It just takes patience. I have a video on that. You can just say, reprogram your car's computer, Scotty, type that, and you'll see it, and you'll see how this one works. As a matter of fact, I believe this is a unit that I used in that very same video. And what else is hanging around in here? All right, an inner tie rod tool for removing inner tie rods. Now, if you ever watched any of my videos on outer tie rod removers, that's easy. You just disconnect it from the steering leg, loosen the big bolt, and it just spins off because it's out in the open. But the inner tie rods are inside on the rack. They're almost impossible to get a regular wrench on. And the way it works is this. This piece actually slides over the outer tie rod, the inner part's inside, and then any of these adapters, they slide over the inside. This goes on, and then you can take them out and put them on. Very interesting tool. And on most modern vehicles, it's virtually impossible to get an inner tie rod out without such a tool. What happens with the inner tie rods is they're kind of bizarre. The outer tie rod's on the outside, easy to get to. The inner one's on the inside. And what they have is most of them have a plastic sheath built inside, so it smoothly goes. Well, guess what happens? The plastic wears up. So then when you're steering, you hear clunka, clunka, clunka. And what it is the plastic's worn out, so the inner tie rod goes clunk, clunk, because the plastic that was between the 2 metal parts is now worn out. Generally, they never break off, but you lose control, your wheels will shake at highway speeds. It's really annoying. And you price the job out with a regular mechanic, it's pretty expensive. It's not that hard to do once you have this tool, and I'm giving it away. So stay tuned to the end to find out how you can win. Another fancy tool. This is a Gearwrench tool for removing serpentine fan belts. Now, many modern cars only have one fan belt, and it's got an automatic tensioner. You got to release the tension to change the belt. And often, the side of the frame is here, the front of the engine is there, and there's no clearance to even get a regular wrench in. Hence, the Gearwrench tool. Whatever size nut it's got, you use the correct socket, and see how thin it is. Doesn't take up much space. Then the long end goes here, and when you have a big fulcrum pulling, it doesn't take Superman to pull it. If you've ever tried with just a regular wrench, they're so tight and you're like, anyone, and I mean anyone, even my wife was able to pull these if it was in a place where you needed 2 people. One guy to slide it on and one to hold. She'd hold it while I slid it in. With all these attachments, the regular sockets, the crowfoot, it fits just about any serpentine belt out there. And one of you lucky viewers is going to win this one. I've had this one for, I don't know, 20-something years. Never had a problem. Well, actually, I had one problem. I lost one of the sockets. But Gearwrench is a very good company. So what did I do? I went to Amazon, and I ordered that one socket, which they had in stock. 2 days later, boom, I had the socket that I lost. It's on me, not on a tool. And what's the last tool that I'm giving away? It's a Phoenix system injector. What does that mean? Well, once you find out this, you wish you had one before. Phoenix injector does exactly what it says. It injects brake fluid into your brake system. Very simple device. Has a piston. This end sucks fluid. This end, you put the plastic hose on, and you stick it up to your brake system. Now, of course, there's a million brake bleeders out there, but this one tops them off for one main reason. They first made it for, I believe, jet planes, which have really long hydraulic lines. What does air want to do? Naturally, air wants to rise. You have air in a glass, it rises to the top. The advantage of these Phoenix injectors are it injects the fluid wherever you want. So let's say you worked on the right rear tire. You would hook this up to the bleeder valve on the right rear tire, and when you pumped it, it would push fluid in the system from the bottom. So since you're on the back, it's going to push everything up from the bottom. What does air want to do? It's naturally going to move up in a liquid. That's why sometimes it's so hard to bleed out brake systems, because normally you're pumping the brake master cylinder, which is pushing the fluid down. Well, the air doesn't want to go down, it wants to go up. So it's often very hard to get it to pump enough fluid to push all the air down to the back of the car, so when you open the bleeder valve it goes and the air comes out. It's a lot easier to use one of these Phoenix injectors and pump it the other way, from the bottom up. And then what happens to the air? It's simple. You just leave the cap off of your brake master cylinder and the air just bubbles out there because it naturally wants to rise. That's why it's hard to bleed brake systems. I've had people sweat for days. I can't get all that air out because you're trying to push air down. It naturally wants to go up. The injector, it has fluid going from the bottom, pushing up, helps it come out naturally. Great system. I don't know why other people don't make them, but I've been using these Phoenix injectors for decades, and boy, it's the fastest way to bleed out a brake system, a clutch system, any kind of hydraulic system. As long as you can get access to the lowest point, you start pumping, the air will go out the other way. And now comes the good part for all of you. I'm giving all the stuff away. To have a chance to win it, just place a clean, non-offensive comment on the YouTube comments below, and the winners are randomly chosen by a computer. It's the only fair, legal way you can do it. That way it's not gambling, it's totally random. You'll be able to win one of these tools, so comment away. Just make sure they're clean. We don't need any obscene comments here. Guys, hey, this is for the good of everyone here. I'm sharing stuff that I'm not using any longer. Some of these things I have 2 or 3 of them, so I only need 1. I'll give the other 2 away. Take advantage of my forgetfulness of buying more tools because I thought I lost them, or the tool companies who send me 2 or 3 of the same tool. You can get one now yourself. Just comment away. And don't worry about me not making any more videos. I'm going to continue making videos and doing live car talks. I'll just be in a different location. Still the same brain. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.